Blood pooled beneath Dane's broken body as the streetlight flickered above him. 3 men walked away laughing while his wife, the woman he'd married 6 months ago, stood on the porch with her arms crossed, watching. Victor's voice echoed back, "Next time, keep your promises, fool." Dane's rib cage screamed with every shallow breath. His left eye had already swollen shut. But through the pain, through the humiliation, one thought crystallized with absolute clarity. They would all pay. Every single one of them. 1 week. That's all it took to destroy them completely. But before we get to how he did it, you need to understand what led to this moment. Because what happened next wasn't just revenge. It was justice served ice cold. Hit that like button right now if you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, and stick around because this story gets absolutely wild. 6 months earlier, Dane Whitlock met Iris Caldwell at a community fundraiser in Greenwich, Connecticut. She had this laugh, genuine, unguarded. When she smiled, her whole face lit up. Dane, who'd spent the last 3 years building his consulting business from nothing, felt something shift inside his chest the moment their eyes met across the donation table. "You're the guy who started that tech advisory firm, right?" she asked, extending her hand. "Guilty," Dane replied, shaking it. Her grip was confident. They talked for 2 hours straight. About dreams. About family. About wanting more from life than what their parents had settled for. Iris told him she'd always want to go to college, but her family couldn't afford it. Her father had passed when she was 16, leaving her mother Glenda to raise 4 kids alone. Iris had taken jobs, waitressing, retail, whatever paid, to help support her 3 brothers. "Someday," she said softly, looking out at the harbor lights, "I want to study psychology. I want to help people who've been through what we went through." Dane saw himself in her story. He'd clawed his way up from nothing to. No silver spoon. No trust fund. Just grit and refusal to quit. "What if I told you," he said carefully, "that someday doesn't have to be far away?" She turned to look at him. Curious. "Marry me," Dane continued, heart pounding. "And after the wedding, I'll make sure you get to university. We'll build that future together." Iris's eyes widened. "You're serious?" "Dead serious." They married 3 months later. Small ceremony. Iris's family attended. Her mother Glenda and her 3 brothers, Victor, Trent, and Cole. Victor was the oldest at 32, loud and self-important. Always had an opinion about everything. Always positioned himself as the family's protector and decision-maker, though he'd never actually accomplished much himself. Trent was 28, quieter but entitled, always looking for shortcuts. Cole, the youngest at 24, just followed whatever Victor said. During the reception, Victor pulled Dane aside. "You better take care of my sister," he said, gripping Dane's shoulder too hard. "She's been through enough. Don't add to it." Dane nodded. "I plan to give her everything she deserves." "Good, because we're watching." The threat hung in the air, disguised as brotherly concern. The first month of marriage was perfect. Dane and Iris moved into a modest but comfortable townhouse in Stamford. She decorated. He worked. They talked about her starting university in the spring semester. Then Glenda's house started falling apart. The roof leaked. The heating system died. The foundation had cracks spreading like spider webs. Iris came to Dane in tears one evening. "My mom's landlord is evicting her," she said. "The building's being condemned. She has nowhere to go." Dane didn't hesitate. "We'll build her a house." "What?" "I've got savings. I've got equity I can pull. We'll buy land and build something solid. Your mom deserves stability." Iris threw her arms around him. "Are you sure?" "Family takes care of family," Dane said. Over the next 4 months, Dane poured $68,000 into constructing a small but sturdy 2-bedroom house for Glenda in New Haven. He handled everything: permits, contractors, materials. He worked 16-hour days managing his business while overseeing construction. When it was finished, Glenda cried. Victor clapped Dane on the back. "You're a real one, brother-in-law." 2 weeks later, Victor showed up at Dane's office. "I need a favor," he said, dropping into the chair across from Dane's desk. "What's up?" I need a job. Something real. I'm tired of bouncing around. Dane studied him. Victor had a resume that read like excuses. 6 jobs in 4 years, each one ending because management didn't appreciate him or played favorites. But he was family now. Dane made calls. He used connections he'd spent years building, called in favors, and got Victor placed at a mid-sized logistics company. Good salary, benefits, training program, room to grow. This is your shot, Dane told him. Don't waste it. Victor lasted 7 weeks. He quit, complaining the hours were too long and the expectations too high. They wanted me doing grunt work, he told Dane dismissively. I'm worth more than that. You were in training, Dane said, frustration creeping in. Everyone starts somewhere. Whatever. Find me something better. Dane stared at him. Excuse me? You got connections. Use them. Get me a position that actually respects what I bring. What you bring. Victor, you quit after 7 weeks. Victor's face hardened. So that's it? You helped my mom, but not me? I did help you. Not enough. He left without another word. Over the next 2 months, the family bled Dane dry in small cuts. Trent needed bail money after a DUI. $1,500. Cole needed his car fixed after he wrapped it around a pole racing his buddies. $3,000. Glenda's new house needed furniture. Dane bought it. Each time, Iris promised, "This is the last time. I'll talk to them." She never did. Then the business hit turbulence. 2 major clients delayed contracts. A third pulled out entirely due to budget cuts on their end. Dane's cash flow, already stretched thin from supporting Iris's family, suddenly choked. He sat Iris down one evening, hands shaking slightly as he showed her the numbers. I need to pause on university for 1 semester, he said. Maybe 2, just until I stabilize things. Iris went completely still. You promised, she said quietly. I know, and I'm not breaking that promise. I'm just asking for time. You're backing out. I'm not backing out. Listen to me. You lied. Her voice turned cold. You used university to get me to marry you, and now you're taking it back. Iris, that's not fair. I've given everything to your family. My family? You mean the family you keep throwing in my face every time you want credit? Dane felt like he'd been slapped. I'm not throwing anything in anyone's face. I'm explaining reality. I lost clients. I need a few months. A few months turns into a year. Then 2. Then never. Iris stood up. My brothers were right about you. Right about what? That you're all talk. She walked out of the room. Dane tried for 3 days to talk to her. She wouldn't listen. Wouldn't even look at him. On the 4th day, he came home from a meeting to find the house empty. Iris had gone to her mother's. He texted, "Please come home. We can work this out." No response. He called. Voicemail. On the 5th day, Victor called him. "We need to talk. Come to Mom's house tonight." About what? Just come. 7 o'clock. Dane arrived at 6:55 p.m. The moment he stepped out of his car, he knew something was wrong. Victor, Trent, and Cole stood in the driveway, arms crossed. "Where's Iris?" Dane asked. "Inside," Victor said. "But you're talking to us first." About? Victor stepped forward. "About how you defrauded my sister." "I didn't defraud anyone." "You promised her university." Victor's voice boomed. "You made her believe in you, made her marry you, and now you're backing out like a coward." I explained the situation. "We don't care about your excuses." Trent joined in. "You owe her." Dane's jaw tightened. "I've given your entire family everything I have. I built your mother a house. I got you jobs. I bailed you out. And you're calling me a coward?" "Yeah," Cole said. "We are." Victor stepped closer, chest to chest. "You think because you did some favors you can just break your word?" "I'm not breaking my word. I need time." Victor's fist came out of nowhere. It caught Dane on the jaw, snapping his head sideways. He stumbled back, vision blurring. Before he could recover, Trent tackled him from the side, driving him into the ground. The beating was methodical, brutal. Victor kicked him in the ribs. Once, twice, 3 times. Dane felt something crack, white-hot pain exploding through his chest. Cole stomped on his left hand. Bones crunched. Trent grabbed his hair, yanked his head up, and slammed it against the concrete driveway. "You're gonna learn respect," Victor shouted, delivering another kick. Dane curled into a ball, trying to protect his head. Blood filled his mouth. His vision flickered. Through the haze, he saw Iris standing on the porch, just standing there, watching. She didn't scream, didn't call for help, didn't tell them to stop. She just watched. That image burned into Dane's brain deeper than any physical wound. Victor leaned down, grabbing Dane's collar. "Next time, keep your promises, fool." He shoved Dane's head back down and walked away laughing. The 3 brothers got into Victor's truck and drove off. Iris went back inside without a word. Dane lay in the driveway for 20 minutes before a neighbor found him and called 911. He woke up in Greenwich Hospital 36 hours later. 3 cracked ribs, broken fingers on his left hand, concussion, fractured cheekbone, internal bruising. Every breath sent sharp, stabbing pain through his chest like broken glass grinding against his lungs. Lifting his arm to reach for water felt impossible with the swelling and deep bruises radiating down from his shoulder. The doctor said he was lucky nothing punctured his organs. Dane didn't feel lucky. He felt humiliated, destroyed, alone. No one from Iris's family visited, not even Iris herself. No apology, no check-in, nothing. On the second day, Dane's friend Kellen came by. "Holy hell, man," Kellen breathed, looking at Dane's battered face. "Who did this?" "My wife's brothers." "What? Why?" Dane explained everything. Kellen shook his head in disbelief. "And Iris just watched?" "Yeah." "Jesus." Kellen sat down heavily. "What are you gonna do?" Dane stared at the ceiling, jaw tight despite the pain. "Nothing," he said quietly. "Nothing. For now." But inside, the machinery was already turning. They wanted to break him, teach him a lesson, show him his place. They had no idea what they'd actually done. They'd freed him from guilt, from obligation, from the delusion that these people ever saw him as anything more than a wallet. You don't survive building a business from nothing without learning one crucial skill: control your emotions and plan in silence. Dane had learned that lesson young, and now, lying in that hospital bed with every breath a reminder of their cruelty, he decided they would learn it too. Day 1 to 3. Dane discharged himself on day 4 of his hospital stay, against medical advice. The nurse tried to stop him. "Mr. Whitlock, your ribs need time." "I'll rest at home," he lied. He didn't go home. He went to his office and locked the door. First call, his attorney, Douglas Pembroke. They'd worked together for years on business contracts. "Doug, I need you to pull every financial record I have going back 8 months. Everything." "What's this about?" "Divorce, asset protection, and eviction proceedings." Silence on the other end. Then, "Are you okay?" "You sound." "I'm fine." "How fast can you move?" "Depends on what you need. Speed and precision. I'll pay whatever it costs. I'll clear my schedule. Come in tomorrow morning." Second call, his accountant, Leona Vance. "Leona, the house I built for Glenda Caldwell in New Haven. Whose name is on the title?" Papers shuffled. "Yours. You paid for everything outright, so it went into your name." "Why?" Dane's grip tightened on the phone. "And legally, I have full ownership rights." "Completely. You could sell it tomorrow if you wanted." "Perfect. I need you to prepare a full accounting of every dollar I spent on that family. Itemized, receipted, everything." "Dane, what's going on?" "Just do it, please. I need it by end of business tomorrow." "You got it." Third call, a real estate attorney named Monica Stroud. Someone Douglas had recommended months ago for a different deal. "Monica, hypothetical question. If I own a property and people are living in it without a lease, how quickly can I evict them? In Connecticut, if there's no written agreement and you're the sole owner, you can issue notice immediately. They'd have 30 days typically. But if you expedite and they don't contest, you could do it in as little as 10. What if I want it done in 1 week? She paused. That's aggressive. You'd need cause, leverage, or their cooperation. Why? Can it be done? Technically, yes. But Dane, you need everything airtight. Ownership documentation. Notice served properly. Sheriff cooperation if they resist. It's messy. I don't care about messy. I care about legal and final. Then yes, I can make it happen. Start paperwork today. Day 2 and 3 blurred together. Dane worked through the pain, popping ibuprofen like candy, breathing shallow to avoid aggravating his ribs. He sat in Douglas's office reviewing documents. Every receipt, every bank transfer, every canceled check. $68,000 for Glenda's house. $12,000 in loans to Victor, Trent, and Cole that were never repaid. $4,000 in furniture and miscellaneous expenses for Glenda. $3,000 fixing Cole's car. $1,500 for Trent's bail. The total? $88,500. They took almost 90 grand from you, Douglas said, shaking his head. And then beat you for asking for patience? Dane's face remained stone. Can we get any of it back? The loans? Maybe in civil court, but it'd take months. The house? That's yours free and clear. You built it, you own it. Then that's what we take. Douglas leaned forward. Dane, I have to ask, are you sure about this? Once you pull this trigger, I'm sure. Your wife is filing for divorce. Draft the papers. Douglas studied him for a long moment, then nodded. Okay, let's burn it all down. Day 4 to 5. By day 4, Dane had every legal document in order. Divorce papers, drafted, ready to file. Eviction notices, prepared for Glenda, Victor, Trent, and Cole, all of whom had moved into the house Dane built, turning it into their unofficial family compound. Ownership verification, locked in with the county. But there was one more piece Dane needed. Kellen met him at a coffee shop in Norwalk. You look terrible, Kellen said. I feel worse. So what's the plan? You've been radio silent for 3 days. Dane slid a folder across the table. I'm taking the house. Kellen opened it, scanned the documents, and let out a low whistle. Holy hell, you're really doing this. They think I'm weak. They think I'll just disappear and lick my wounds. And instead, I'm going to show them what happens when you mistake silence for surrender. Kellen grinned. I'm here for it. What do you need? Witnesses. When I serve the eviction, I want people there who can testify if this goes sideways. You, Monica the attorney, and a sheriff's deputy. You think they'll fight it? I think Victor will try. But by the time he understands what's happening, it'll be too late. Day 5 arrived. Dane's phone rang. Unknown number. He almost didn't answer. Then instinct made him pick up. Hello? Dane! It was Iris. Her voice was different, soft, shaky, like she'd been crying. He said nothing. Dane, please don't hang up. Silence. I'm so sorry. The words tumbled out. I'm so sorry. I was angry and blind and stupid. My brothers went way too far. I never wanted you hurt like that. I should have stopped them. I should have protected you. Dane's jaw clenched. We've all talked, Iris continued. Me, my mom, my brothers. We see it now. How ungrateful we've been. After everything you've done for us, we treated you like garbage. Why are you calling, Iris? Because I love you. Because I was wrong. Because I want to fix this. Dane leaned back in his chair, staring at the ceiling. Fix it how? Come to the house tomorrow. Let's all sit down and talk. No fighting. No anger. Just family. We'll work it out together. We'll support you now, I promise. You shouldn't have to carry everything alone. In the background, Dane heard Victor's voice. Tell him we're sorry. For real. Then Victor came on the line directly. Dane, man, listen. It was heat of the moment. We messed up bad. I messed up, but we're family, right? Family works through things. No hard feelings. Come over tomorrow. Let's bury this and move forward. Trent's voice chimed in. Yeah, we'll help you out now. Whatever you need. It was perfectly orchestrated. Rehearsed. They thought they were reeling him back in. Dane almost laughed. Okay, he said simply. I'll come tomorrow. Relief flooded Iris's voice. Really? Yeah. What time? 5 o'clock. I'll be there. Thank you, Dane. Thank you so much. He hung up without saying goodbye. Then he texted Douglas. They took the bait. Tomorrow at 5. Have everything ready. Douglas replied immediately. Lock and load. Day 6. That night, inside Glenda's house, the mood was celebratory. Victor sat back on the couch, beer in hand. Told you he'd come crawling back. Don't say it like that, Iris said, though she was smiling. He's hurt. We need to be gentle. Gentle? Victor scoffed. We beat respect into him. Now, he knows his place. This is good. He'll work harder to keep us happy. Glenda frowned. Victor, that's not. Mom, relax. Everything's fine. Dane's a smart guy. He'll see that staying with us is better than being alone. We just had to remind him who's really in charge. Trent nodded. And if he acts up again, we'll remind him harder. Cole laughed. Iris didn't say anything, but deep down, a small voice whispered that something felt off. Dane had sounded too calm, too agreeable, but she pushed it away. He loved her. He'd forgive her. They'd move past this. Day 7. 5 o'clock came. Glenda's house. The house Dane built sat quiet in the fading afternoon light. Inside, Victor, Trent, Cole, Iris, and Glenda waited. They'd cleaned up, made coffee, set out snacks like this was some kind of reconciliation party. At 5:03, Dane's car pulled into the driveway. But he wasn't alone. A woman in a business suit stepped out of the passenger side, Monica Stroud. Behind them, a sheriff's deputy parked at the curb. Victor stood up from the couch, frowning. Who the hell are they? Dane walked up the porch steps carrying a folder. His face was blank. Unreadable, Iris opened the door, smiling nervously. Hey, you brought people? We need to talk, Dane said flatly. Okay, sure. Come in. No, you need to come out here. The smile faltered. What? Everyone. Outside. Now. Victor pushed past Iris. What's this about Dane? Dane didn't answer. He just opened the folder and pulled out several documents. Monica stepped forward. My name is Monica Stroud, real estate attorney. I'm here on behalf of Mr. Whitlock to deliver formal eviction notices. The air turned to ice. Eviction? Glenda's voice cracked. What are you talking about? Dane handed each of them a notice. Glenda, Victor, Trent, Cole, and Iris. You have 24 hours to vacate this property, Dane said calmly. All utilities will be disconnected tomorrow at noon. Any belongings remaining after that will be considered abandoned. Iris stared at the paper like it was written in another language. Dane, what is this? It's exactly what it says. But this is our home. No. Dane's voice was cold. It's my home. I paid for it. I built it. The title is in my name. You've been living here as guests. Now you're being asked to leave. Victor's face turned red. You can't do this. I can. I am. This is illegal. Monica interjected smoothly. It's entirely legal. Mr. Whitlock owns the property outright. There are no lease agreements, no tenant protections. You're occupants without rights. Bullshit. Victor stepped forward, jabbing a finger at Dane. You think you're tough now? After everything After everything you what? Dane's voice cut like a blade. After you beat me half to death? After you broke my ribs and left me bleeding in the street? The deputy's hand moved to his belt. Victor noticed and stepped back slightly, but his voice stayed loud. You deserved it. You lied to Iris. I asked for time, and you responded with violence. Iris's eyes filled with tears. We apologized. We said we were sorry. You said words. Dane looked at her for the first time, and his gaze was empty. But words don't mean anything when your actions already show me the truth. What truth? That you never loved me. None of you did. I was just a resource. A bank account with legs. That's not true. Really? Dane's voice rose slightly. Then why did you watch them beat me and do nothing? Iris flinched like she'd been slapped. Why did you call them to teach me a lesson instead of having a conversation like an adult? I was angry. You were entitled. All of you. Glenda stepped forward, voice shaking. Dane, please. We made a mistake. We'll do better. Don't throw us out. You should have thought about that before you sent your sons to put me in the hospital. I didn't know they were going to hurt you that badly. You knew they were going to hurt me. That was the point. Dane's jaw tightened. You raised sons who think violence solves problems. And when it blew back on you, you expected me to just forgive and forget because we're family. Trent spoke up, voice desperate. Come on, man. Where are we supposed to go? I don't care. You're really going to make us homeless? Dane looked him dead in the eye. You made me bleed. I'm making you learn. Victor lunged forward, but the deputy was faster, stepping between them. Back up, the deputy ordered. Victor's hands shook with rage. This isn't over. Yes, Dane said. It is. He pulled out one more document and handed it to Iris. What's this? She whispered. Divorce papers. I'm filing tomorrow. The paper slipped from her fingers. Dane, no. You chose them over me. Now live with that choice. Please don't do this. But Dane was already walking back to his car. Monica followed, handing the deputy a copy of the eviction notice. They have 24 hours. If they refuse to leave, you're authorized to remove them. The deputy nodded. As Dane reached his car, Victor found his voice one more time. You think you've won? You think this makes you strong? Dane paused, hand on the door handle. He turned back slowly. I don't think I've won, Victor. I know I have, because the difference between you and me is simple. You thought breaking my body would break my spirit. But I built everything I have from nothing. I survived worse than you. And while you were busy feeling powerful, I was busy taking everything back. He opened the car door. Oh, and one more thing. What? Victor spat. The house isn't the only thing I own. Victor's face went pale. What does that mean? Dane smiled cold. Empty. You'll find out soon enough. He got in the car and drove away. 24 hours later, the next day at noon, a locksmith arrived at the house. Glenda, Iris, and her brother stood on the lawn surrounded by hastily packed bags and boxes. They'd spent all night begging neighbors for help. Most refused. A few offered temporary couches. Victor had tried to break back in through a window that morning, but the deputy had been watching and threatened him with arrest. Now they watched as the lock for change. Their key, their home, gone. But that wasn't the worst part. At 12:15, a process server arrived. He handed Victor a certified letter. Victor opened it, scanned it, and his face drained of all color. What is it? Trent asked. Victor's hands trembled. He bought the building where I was renting my apartment. What? Dane bought the whole building. I'm being evicted from there too. Trent grabbed the letter, read it, then pulled out his own phone. 2 missed calls. A voicemail from his landlord. Mr. Caldwell, there's been a change in ownership. You need to call me immediately. Cole got the same message. Dane hadn't just taken Glenda's house. He'd systematically identified where each brother lived and either bought the buildings outright or leveraged financial pressure on the landlords to terminate their leases. Every single one of them was being evicted. Simultaneously, Victor sank to his knees on the grass, the letter falling from his hands. How? His voice cracked. How did he? Iris stood frozen, staring at the house she'd grown up visiting, the house Dane built with his own money and sweat. The house that was supposed to represent his love for her family. Now it represented the cost of their greed. Glenda began to cry. Trent punched the ground. Cole just stared into space, shell-shocked. And Victor, loud, arrogant Victor who'd laughed while Dane bled, sat in the grass with his head in his hands, completely broken. "This can't be real," he whispered. "This can't be happening." But it was. By evening, word had spread through the neighborhood. The Caldwell family, the ones who always had their hands out, always demanding more, always acting entitled, had finally pushed someone too far, and that someone had ended them, not with violence, not with yelling, with silence, strategy, and the cold precision of a man who built everything himself and knew exactly how to take it all away. 2 weeks later, Dane sat in his lawyer's office, signing the final divorce decree. "It's done," Douglas said. "Clean separation. She gets nothing." "Good. How are you feeling?" Dane considered the question. Physically, he was healing. The ribs still ached, but less each day. The bruises had faded to yellow-green. Emotionally, "I feel free," he said finally. "No regrets." "Not one." Douglas leaned back. "For what it's worth, I think you did the right thing. They would have bled you dry and then blamed you for running out of blood." "I know. What's next for you?" Dane stood, wincing slightly. "Rebuild. Refocus. Move forward. Alone. For now. And that's fine. I'd rather be alone than surrounded by people who only see me as useful." Douglas shook his hand. "Take care of yourself, Dane." "You too." Outside, Dane's phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Please. We have nowhere to go. I'm begging you. Iris." He'd blocked her main number, but she'd gotten a new one. He stared at the message for a moment. Part of him, a very small part, felt a flicker of something, not guilt, not regret, just acknowledgement that this had once been his wife, someone he'd loved. But love without respect is just a word, and respect without reciprocity is just a weakness waiting to be exploited. He deleted the message and blocked the number. Then he got in his car and drove toward the future. One where his value wasn't determined by how much he could give away, but by how much he could build for himself. 1 month later, Dane stood in the empty house in New Haven, the house he'd built for Glenda. It had been cleaned out, repainted, repaired where they'd damaged things. A real estate agent waited by the door. "We've got 3 offers already," she said, "all above asking price. You built this really well." "I know. Which one do you want to accept?" Dane looked around one last time. He remembered the excitement he'd felt building this place, the hope that it would bring stability to people he thought were family. Now it was just walls and a roof. "Take the highest offer," he said. "Let's close fast." "Done." As he walked out and locked the door behind him, Dane didn't look back. The best revenge wasn't loud. It wasn't violent. It was complete, and it was silent. 6 months later, Dane's business had fully recovered. New clients, new contracts, new growth. He'd moved to a different part of Connecticut, away from old memories, old ghosts. He'd started therapy to process the betrayal and the violence, and he was healing in ways he hadn't expected. One afternoon, Kellen called. "You're not going to believe this." "What?" "I just saw Victor. He's working at a fast food place on Route 1. Dane said nothing. "He looks broken, man. Like life just chewed him up." "Good." "Cold." "Accurate." Kellen laughed. "Fair enough. How are you doing?" "Better every day." "You dating?" "Not yet, but I'm open to it. Eventually." "That's progress." "Yeah, it is." They talked for a few more minutes. Then Dane hung up. He sat on his balcony, coffee in hand, watching the sunset. Somewhere out there, the Caldwell family was struggling with the consequences of their choices. And somewhere in this city, Dane Whitlock was rebuilding his life, wiser, stronger, and finally free. They'd tried to teach him a lesson. Instead, they'd learned one. If this story hit you hard, smash that like button and subscribe, because we've got more stories like this coming your way. Drop a comment telling me, do you think Dane went too far, or did he do exactly what needed to be done? Let's talk about it. And remember, silence isn't weakness. Sometimes it's just preparation.